So, today's episode, I wanted to break down some of the myths and the unpleasant truths of web design.
Yeah.
So, I'll give you an easy one first. But what is a common myth that you run into a lot when people come looking for your services?
A common myth, I would say, would be that this website is going to be the be-all, end-all. It's going to 100% flip around their business and make it super successful. A website, I would say, is one part of many different things that you can do within your marketing strategy. But a really good website is a good foundation to have. It's a good home base to have for your other accounts to be linking back to. And so, but yeah, people think that it's going to solve all their problems.
Mm-hmm. So I know one of the things, and oftentimes it's so complicated that it just kind of draws people's attention because they don't have no idea how to work it. But maybe if they just get it right, then it's going to make their website and their business successful. And that's SEO. Mm-hmm. So like really quickly, can you just explain what is SEO?
So SEO, or search engine optimization, it's a sum of different things that you can do to help your site rank higher on Google page. So when you first pull up your name on Google page and you see your site being listed within the first 10 things, that means that your SEO is doing what it's supposed to be doing. So your site is optimized to be searched, to be found.
So if I come to you, the website maker, and I say, hey, I want a really good website that's going to go in the top 10 of Google, you should be able to do all of that all by yourself, yes?
Actually, no. There's 2 steps to that process. First, what I do is I optimize the site within itself. I make sure the images are compressed. I make sure they have alt tags, meta titles, meta descriptions on each page. I make sure there's links, inbound links and outbound links. I make sure the content is full of keywords and it aligns with the business's mission. And I make sure there's fresh content in there if there's a blog of the sort. So all these things that I optimize within the site, I do basic SEO optimization. And that's just within the site when I create it, when I build it. However, there's another step, which is something that an SEO expert would do. And they would take that website and they would optimize it within the realm of search engines. And so there's 2 different steps there.
So my website designer's not going to make me number 1 on Google right away?
Not essentially. They could, because the website will be optimized with all the content words and the keywords and the links and everything. But you might need to hire somebody else to actually bump that to first place, because that's not an automatic thing.
So realistically, though, like if I wanted to have a business with a valuable digital storefront, effectively, the first step before I can even think about SEO seriously is I have to get my website in order.
100%. That's the first thing you have to do. You have to make sure everything streamlines correctly. The site is designed effectively. It caters to the right people, to your target audience. It has all the information that they need. It's very intuitive, easy to use, fast to load, all the different things. So that needs to be the first step.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10 even, how important is SEO for my website?
On the scale of 1 to 10, 1 being...
Like 1 is, it's not that important.
It's not that important. Oh, no. I would say it's definitely around 6, I would put it.
Okay.
6 or 7. Yeah. It's very important. But again, if you don't have a website that's functioning correctly, it doesn't mean anything. You can't take a lousy website and bump it up, because that's not going to do anything. That's not going to convert for you. You're going to need to have a functional website that does what it's supposed to do first, and then take it up.
Okay, so let's say I'm DIYing my website, making it myself. I want to make sure that it's optimized. I can't hire someone else to do it, though. So what are some things that I can do to make those optimizations, to make it a little bit more SEO friendly?
So I would say make sure that you have headers, header 1, header 2, header 3. You have the paragraphs. So everything has to be lined up perfectly, strategically within the navigation, the sitemap, all these things. You also need to make sure you have alt tags on your images. You need to make sure that the the pages align in a certain way that makes sense and people can get to where they need to go within 1 or 2 clicks before they lose interest. Again, we talked about the fresh content. So the blogs, things that you can add that would be updated content to the site that would actually increase your rank. And then having the internal links between the pages and the outside links as well, and the backlinks. So from whatever website you land on, you have a backlink to your website. That also increases your SEO.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about web developers themselves. Somewhere there's a dividing line between the good developers and the bad developers. How do I know if I'm meeting with a good web developer or a bad one?
So there's a distinction I'd like to make, and some people make that mistake. So web designer and web developer are 2 different things.
Interesting. Okay,
Yes.
explain.
So web designer is somebody who deals with the front end of the website, the design of the website, the UX, UI of the website, so the customer experience. The web developer is somebody who works with code only. And they develop code, they develop custom templates using code, and that's all they do. They don't do the front end. They do the back end, which is the code.
Interesting.
Code. Now, the front end web designer does know code as well, but I'm not creating a whole website with custom code. That's not my job. The web developer can create something with custom code only. For me, I take whatever's available, like a platform like WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, Webflow, whatever. And then I take the builder and then I build the site using the tools that the web developers have created. Does that make sense?
So is web developer like a more niche, specialized version of a web designer?
A web developer deals only with code. So they create things with code and they deal with code. They can be web designers as well, but that's a different set of skills that you have to have.
Gotcha.
Just like I cannot custom make from scratch, from just code a whole website. That's a different set of skills. I do know some code, but not as much as a web developer.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like you can say, hi, hello, how are you? Can I get the food there? And where's the washroom in Spanish? But you're not fluent in Spanish.
Something like that.
Something
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take it. Okay, so in that case, let's rephrase the question. Website designers.
Yes.
A lot of website designers. There's a line that divides the good and the bad ones. How do I know if I'm meeting with a good designer or a bad one?
I would say transparency from the beginning, knowing what this person can offer, and knowing when they give you when they submit a proposal, making sure you go through the proposal and make sure what you're expecting to get is listed on there. And so a web designer should be very thorough when it comes to, and very detail oriented when it comes to listing all the things that they're going to be offering. They need to be transparent, like I said, with their offerings. And usually a good web designer would be on top of like communication skills, and they would actually care for your business, it's not just a transaction, but it goes above and beyond. And so, I would say authenticity, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So inversely, what are the red flags?
So the red flags would be when somebody, and I've seen this happen, when they want to charge you a very small price, like $500 for a website, but then when you ask them for help with a few things, they start upcharging you. And they start telling you, oh, but this is going to cost you $600, even though they offered the whole site for $500. But this minimal change is going to be a whole bunch more money. So that would be a huge red flag, because they're just trying to upsell you. And I would not want to deal with them.
Have you had many clients run into those issues in the past?
Yes, I have. I have clients who have come to me after they've dealt with somebody else, another designer, who charged them so much money and they did not deliver. So that's another thing. You want to charge money, you want to promise something, you want to deliver that. So that's a huge red flag. But then that money is lost. So they come to me and they're desperate and they're really frustrated with this industry already. And so it's so important for a web designer to not only promise what they're going to do, but also deliver on that promise.
I'd be curious to hear some of those horror stories. Maybe we'll have time later in the episode for that. But yeah, you talked a little bit about people who are offering really low prices. And we talked about this a little bit in the last episode, but I'm going to pick on one country just because they've been giving me a lot of phone calls recently. Yeah. But India has a lot of folks that, for what it's worth, some of them do really good work.
Yes.
There's also a large number of them that are just going to say that they can make me a website for $50 and that it'll be the best website ever and that I'll never need another website for 2 weeks until I see the website and I realize it's garbage. So I want you to make a case as to why I should work with these international web designers. Why should I, besides money?
Why should you? I would say if you're on a budget and if you really need a website in a very, very fast way and something to have an online presence, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think if you don't have the budget and you need a website right now, that would be a good idea to do. I wouldn't do it personally, but I think a business owner who only has limited funds and needs something quickly, why not?
Do you think in 10, 15 years we'll see the quality of output from these producers increase, or do you think it's always just kind of going to be the same?
I think you're going to have good quality and bad quality, and it's just gonna balance itself out. Because not everybody knows how to build websites, so
you're gambling at that point. I suppose
100%. You just don't know. You just don't know what you're going to get. I mean, of course they send you portfolio examples and stuff like that, but again, these people are in India. They're so far away. I mean, this could be stolen material for all you know. You just don't know, and it's. How are you going to gauge that? And how are you going to judge this from somebody who's living so far away? Not to mention time difference. And so that might play a part. If my site crashes at 10 o'clock in the morning and I need to fix it by 11 o'clock in the morning, how is this person going to respond when they're so far away? And with the time difference, they'll probably be sleeping. So again, that's another factor why people should hire local web designers or even in the same continent. I would say that somebody that's here and that can help them in real time.
A 3-hour time difference is a lot better than an 11 one.
100%, especially if you have a site that's just crashed. And I've had that happen so many times. People call me at 8 o'clock in the morning and I get right on it and I fix their site because their customer clientele depend on the site and they need to get it work.
I had that happen once. I'll share this story. And it was a website crash, but I talked to a few other WordPress fellows that I know, and they were all astounded because they'd never seen this happen. But I had taken some code because I was trying to install a tracking metric.
Yes.
And it was from a legit website, and so I knew the code worked. I put it into my header bar, and not only did it crash my website, but my WordPress workspace became inoperable.
Yes.
Which is astounding. I never knew that could happen.
Yes. It happens more times than you think. And that's why, for me, I have encountered so many of these scenarios. It happens so much. And I would say as a WordPress, if you're doing anything in WordPress, even updating your plugins, first and foremost, back up your site. Always back up your site. That's the very first step. You open up your site, back it up, or put it on automatic backups. Because I've had sites crash on me so many times from installing a plugin that wasn't compatible maybe, or deleting a plugin. So there's a lot of scenarios that can happen. And I'm very well versed in WordPress, but some of the issues also I have, I pay for a special service to be connected to WordPress on the back end to where I can call them and have them resolve the issues in case something like this happened, where I don't even have access to the dashboard or anything. Yeah,
because in that case, I didn't properly save a previous version of it. And so I lost 3 days worth of work.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was miserable that day.
Well, that happens way more times than you think. It's very common.
Yeah, like WordPress is just a different beast, really.
It is. That's why I said, it's better to get a certification in it, know what you're dealing with, and still have some experience with it because there's so many ins and outs of it.
Oh gosh, yeah. University of YouTube only gets you so far at the end of the day.
That's very true. It's helpful, but to a certain point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about this? What are hard realities that clients should be aware of when working with web designers?
I would say hard realities. I would say, not everything is going to be 100% perfect to what you're imagining in your brain. Like things are going to be very close to that. But of course, there's limitations, whether it be with a platform, with a builder, with, sometimes clients want this big, crazy visual, and it's actually not good for the site. So people have to understand that there's more to it than just aesthetics and what you see. And then sometimes things take time, more time than you think. And so there's intricacies in there that they need to be aware of and sensitive to. So just keep an open mind when you're dealing with a web designer, because there are some limitations out there.
All right, I'll give you an easy one next. What is the best part of the job?
The best part of the job for me is seeing the complete finished project. Like I love seeing a website that's complete. And I'm such a perfectionist. I'm always tweaking and changing little details here and there. But once it's done, I am so proud of my work. And I love it when clients call me and they're like, my family all went to the website and they loved it. Or my clients are raving about the website and this is a referral because, this guy wants a website too, like that, or, I got so many new clients from this website. That just makes my day. I'm proud of my work and I, take ownership of it. And that's the best part.